The thing that I find most interesting is there is so much strength in it that most people overlook it and underestimate it because they don't understand it. Hey lovelies, welcome back to another video. I am Maraya and this is Womanly Essence. As always, welcome to my space. If you're a newbie here, I create content about internal work, womanhood, and becoming the best version of yourself. So if you are a woman on her journey of becoming and you want to hear and see more of that kind of content, do not hesitate to like and subscribe to this channel and also hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming up. Welcome back. I feel like we have covered so much already on the essence of women, and there is still so much to cover. And I'm going to do my absolute best to peel every single layer back and give as much information and thought as possible because I really want to convey the message of understanding the true essence of a woman, the qualities, the lightness of it, the greatness of it, the goodness of it, and all of what it means to us as women. It is my goal to show you the gift, the beauty, the power, the uniqueness in being a woman, all the while giving you the tools to refine and sharpen yourselves as we go on our journeys. So if you are on that journey and you are ready to get started, let's get started. So today's discussion is all about understanding the feminine and how to embody it. And I want to say this first. Femininity is not something that can be bought. It is not something that you put on. It is not something that you start and stop. It's not something that you provide to other people or for a man or for the purpose of finding a man. It's none of those things. Femininity is a part of you. It is who you are. It is in your makeup. It is what makes up the essence of a woman, if you will. And I want to be clear on that because this episode is all about getting you to understand the power, the strength, and the beauty of what it is and what it really means. People can benefit from it through you, but it's not for them. It's for you first. It's for the fulfillment and the joy and the purpose of your life and your living. I would like to describe femininity as the strength in your softness. It is boundaries, self-love, self-worth, understanding, nurturing, wisdom, vulnerability, discipline, strength. It is the very foundation that makes up who we are. The thing that I find most interesting is there is so much strength in it that most people overlook it and underestimate it because they don't understand it, especially women who don't truly understand what it is that they carry. So just to give you a parallel, masculinity is majority about doing. Femininity is more about being. So many women feel they have to use dominance and control as a means of getting ahead, but that is not where the greatness of women truly lies. Pieces of that is necessary in certain moments and to get certain things done, but that is not the strength in who we are. That is not where our true strength lies, and that is not where our greatest abilities lie. Our femininity as women literally makes the world go round and is desperately needed for us first, and then the world and everyone around us benefits from it. As I said before, your femininity is not for other people. It's not for a man. It's not for the purpose of finding a man. It's not for other people to feel good or, be happy. It's for you first, and people benefit from it. But I will say that this is something that men normally lack. They don't have it in the great amount as we do. So that's why most times they look for that, they search for that, they desire that in the woman that they want to be with, because they understand the importance of it and they understand the strength of it. And I'm not just talking about anybody, I'm talking about a real man who understands that. That is strength. I also like to describe femininity as a powerful force. It carries so much inside of it. It carries qualities like intuition, nurturing, creativity, emotional intelligence. And when you mix this with self-love and self-worth, this is the epitome of a woman's fulfillment and enjoyment in life. This is how she can navigate through life, and it can influence every aspect of her life. So this platform is all about understanding the power and the strength in who you are and what you carry. So being that this platform is all about understanding the power in who you are and what you carry, I want to give you 6 ways that your femininity is a benefit to you first. I want you to get your pen and papers out and get ready so that you can get all this information and soak it all in, so that you can begin to live the life you envision for yourself, and you can begin to put on those ways and attributes that you desire. So if you're ready, let's jump in. So one way that our femininity benefits us in a deep way as women is emotional strength and resilience. One thing that I've always been able to spot and admire in women is our ability to adapt in situations that may seem uncomfortable, that may seem unfamiliar, that may not have been discovered, that we may have never stepped into. We could be thrown into situations and figure it out. It's almost like a shapeshifter. You know, when they get into different spaces, they know how to transform themselves, even transform their entire bodies into something else, or another person, another thing, another object, another animal, to be able to fit what is going on at that time and to show up in the way that is needed and necessary. And I feel like women are literal shapeshifters in that way as well. Obviously not in the physical all the time, but when it comes to being able to pour into a certain space and adapt and change and shift and pivot, we have that so naturally. It comes so easy to us. In the face of trials and adversities or mishaps, the strength in our resilience, we know how to bounce back. We know how to step up to the plate. We know how to not allow a certain thing to weigh on us and get us down. Women, we can bounce back, and all we have to do is tap into the strength that we had. A lot of times we don't realize we have the ability to come back from anything that we go through. We don't realize we have the ability to come back from situations that were meant to tear us down and meant to keep us under. But all we have to do is pull on that natural nurturing way of us, that natural resilient way of us, the natural healing way, and nurture ourselves back to health, nurture ourselves back to a place where mentally I'm more sharp, physically I'm stronger. Even in our bodies, I mean, as we all know, our bodies are made to carry and bear children. That is one of the most resilient things I think a woman can do in the world. Your body literally transforms, and it also can transform back or transform into a greater version than it was before. So if our bodies can do that, don't you think our minds can do that? Don't you think our emotions can do that? They can. You just have to pull on the strength that you have. Another strength is also vulnerability. And this is still under my first point, but vulnerability is something that people today look at as weak, but it is not. Most times when you are feeling an emotion, or you're feeling something, or you're thinking something, the easiest thing to do is retreat, to keep quiet, and to hold it in. Just because you don't have to expose yourself, you don't have to stand in what you feel. But when someone can be strong enough to be vulnerable, to be open, to be real about what it is that they feel, and to stand in that and to be honest about that, you, for one, don't allow yourself to be in a detriment. You don't allow yourself to be at a deficit. You don't allow yourself to be held back. You allow yourself to stand in truth, stand in strength and also be healed. A lot of people are not living in a healed space because they don't know how to be vulnerable and open and just let go and release. And as women, we have this natural ability. All we have to do is pull on it, but this is already inside of us. And also, of course, emotional intelligence. As women, we naturally have empathy within us. Now, I won't say we naturally have empathy, because empathy is definitely something that you have to grow and cultivate. But when you are one who can tap into your emotions, when you're one who can tap into vulnerability, when you're one who can tap into what you feel and understanding what you feel, you can strengthen your empathy, which will also allow you to utilize it when strengthening your emotional intelligence, not just for yourself, but even for other people. So when you have this, you are at a great advantage to be able to manage your emotions. And I think that also God placed this ability in us because as women, we go through a lot of changes in our bodies, which obviously will affect you mentally. It will affect your chemical balance. It will affect so many things in you. And I think that we need to know how to manage our emotions well, especially when we have different things that arise in our bodies that can affect us. Another way your femininity is a benefit to you is creativity and intuition. In my opinion, I would associate intuition with wisdom. Intuition should always lead you to wisdom and wise decisions. I don't ever think that your intuition should lead you to do things that are going to hurt or harm you more, unless it's some information that you need to know. Now, in the case of it being some things you need to have knowledge of to prevent you from being in a harmful situation, you will have to learn some things that may hurt you. But as far as information that's going to cause you to make decisions that are going to be detrimental to you or to people around you, I don't believe your intuition does that. I believe intuition is something that is a guidance. It's a director. Obviously, with men, physical strength is a natural thing. Most times women, we have to work up. We have to exercise and work up to being more physically strong and physically fit and have the ability to have more strength within our bodies. Men naturally have, it's like embedded in them. They were literally born that way. So that is naturally where their strength lies. Our natural strength comes from our femininity, from our minds, from our decision makings, from the way we move and operate. So I believe that it was given to us to be able to have insight on information, have insight on situations that may come up, and also to protect us, to cover us, to get us out of situations or get us out of spaces that may be more harmful and hurtful to us than we realize. And then I want to kind of speak to the creativity, the creative expression side that I was speaking of. Obviously, as you can see, women are some of the most creative creatures on the earth. We know how to make something out of absolutely nothing. We know how to come up with an idea that would transform lives, transform generations, transform everything around us. We have that creativity and natural ability in us to create, to provide new aspects, new ways of being. And this could be through art, this could be through communicating, this could be through life, this could be through nature, this could be through anything. But we have a natural way of knowing how to create. And this is a strength because you will always have an avenue to be able to sustain yourself. You will always have an avenue to be able to provide for yourself. You will always have an avenue to be able to create a life and create things for you, for yourself, to be your best self. Even if you don't have physical strength to do hard labor, even if you don't have physical strength to do some things that cause you to perform strenuous acts, our mind and our creativity allows us to have a continual flow of success, a continual flow of abundance in whatever area you choose. It's up to you. I've seen women come up with some of the most innovative things. It's like, where did that even come from? That is where our creativity thrives. And that's a natural strength that you have. Always look, I feel like every woman should look for something that they have an ability in and see how it can benefit them and profit them. And not just monetarily, but also in connections, also in relationships, also in being able to open up doors and provide opportunities for you. But it can do all those things. Just open up your mind, allow yourself to really look at, like this is natural for me, or this is something I'm good at. Watch how it produces greater things in your life. Now, if you put them together, you put your creativity and your intuition together, this is what allows women to be able to adapt to uncomfortable situations, to adapt to uncertain situations, to adapt to situations that you are not used to find solutions for yourself and to other people when you feel stuck, when you feel in a rut. You can use your creativity and you can use your intuition to figure it out. Okay, a third way that your femininity provides benefits and great strength to you is nurturing and healing power. I feel like this is definitely one of those strengths that most people know and understand, and would definitely say it's probably one of the top one strengths for us. I put them together because obviously when you're nurturing, that brings about a certain kind of healing, and it definitely is a strength and a power. I want to get into that a little bit. So I want to kind of specify some of those ways that it really helped. So I would say first is self-care and restoration. I guess I would kind of name it restoration, but let's kind of talk about self-care a little bit. Wellness is such an important part of a woman's life. We go through a lot of things in our mind and our body, especially our body. We go through so much, and so you have to be intentional about your wellness. You have to be intentional about your self-care, and not even just the physical, but the mental, and really in all areas. There is a level of self-care that you can do that will really heal you, that will really help you in times of lowliness, in times of need, whatever's going on. Being able to pull on really taking care of yourself in a way that is designed specifically for you and your needs. This allows you to restore yourself and represent yourself and show up in the best way that you can. And then also the healing aspect of it, when you can be in your natural loving state and space, you can show compassion, you can show love, kindness, and nurturing to yourself, but then to others around you in a way that you may not recognize they need it, they may not recognize that they need it, but you just know how to do it. You're just able to show up. It's almost like the way a baby's crying, and really any woman, but especially a mom, can grab the baby and not even think about it, but just begin to do things that help calm and ease this baby. You don't always think of what to do. You don't always calculate it and write it down. You just do it. You just go, like, for instance, I have nieces and a nephew, and I might, they might be crying. I might pick them up and kiss them and make them laugh. I might, hold them and rock them. I might, take them outside and, let them forget about whatever they were thinking about at first, and let them kind of run around, and let's just enjoy some time. That's not something I have to think about to know this could heal them or nurture them in this moment. It's just natural. It just came to me like, okay, let's just do this, because it's something in me that would direct you to do something that would help and heal others. And then also creating a safe space. The same way that you can see, sometimes you see that a lot of people think women are not able to get along or share a space that is beneficial. Everybody thinks that, there's always going to be some kind of drama. And that can be true when it comes to a certain kind of woman who is that way. When it comes to women who are genuinely, truly wanting to come together and connect, and wanted to be a support, and wanted to help others, wanted to really be open and honest, and really hone in on supporting, loving, and caring for another woman, you will get the complete opposite effect. You will be able to see that there is a safe space that is created where there's trust, there's vulnerability, there is secret keeping. I can trust the space that I'm in, that my friendship has created for me. I can trust the space that my aunt or my families have created for me, because they truly have their best interest at heart when it comes to me. And that's a power and a strength that I believe women carry in a different and special kind of way. And let's also not forget and neglect just natural self-care practices, which we all know ways that we can put, our self-care practices into effect that will benefit us. That all depends on you, but that's definitely a way that we nurture ourselves, and we can also create spaces and opportunities to nurture other women and other people in that way as well. Number 4 of how you can strengthen this area in your life is connection and relationship building. With us being able to be open and vulnerable and creating space and caring and nurturing, obviously those are really strong ways to build and foster strong connections and deep, long-lasting relationships, whether that be romantic relationships, whether that be friendships, whether that be acquaintances. You have the ability to foster deep connections and relationships with people all over the world, anywhere. You can connect to people that you don't know their background, you don't understand their upbringing, you don't understand the things that they have experienced and went through from a personal standpoint, but the ability to understand and empathize, the ability to, have an understanding of, and just a respect, a reverence for someone else's livelihood, for someone else's experiences, allows you to create relationships where there's a mutual understanding, there's a mutual care and respect and love for one another. I also see, most times you see, if you think about it, even women and families, and this is kind of speaking to creating connections and community, because we create the connections, we create the relationships, but creating community is something different. You're creating a whole entire space for people to come together and connect, not just you and them, but them and other people, and those people and other people. Most times you see, especially if you think about it in regards to families, you most times see there's a patriarch and a matriarch, but it's different with the matriarch. The matriarch knows how to come in and bond the families in a way where they don't necessarily stick their noses in everything, but they know how to keep an order that's like, this is a space that I'm creating. Most times that patriarch has some kind of support from a woman that is there to be able to foster that community and make sure it stays strong and connected and it thrives. And that is the ability that we have to bring people together and to create a standard within that community that says, hey, this is the culture that we have here. Number 5 of how femininity benefits us as women is leadership. And leadership through the lens of collaboration, understanding, empathy, and connectivity. What does this mean? There are certain qualities you need to be able to be a great leader. I know a lot of people always talk about being a boss, but if you really think about it, and this is something that I know some people understand, there's a huge difference in someone being a boss and the head of something and a leader and something. A leader is someone that you can look and learn from. A leader is someone that you can take information from and apply it, and you also see them applying it. A leader is someone that you can watch and learn from. And a boss is most times someone who can look and dictate, who can look and say, hey, this, that, and the third, I want it this way, that way, and that way. And it's like, okay, I got to figure it out to please this boss. But his leader is like, hey, I want this done. Let's get it done. This is the way it needs to be done. Let me show you how it needs to be done. And that's a huge difference. To be able to be a good leader, you have to have understanding, you have to have compassion, you have to have empathy, you have to have connection. And I feel like as women, because those things most times come natural to us, it allows us to be amazing leaders. It allows us to lead in areas and roles that people didn't think that we could. And that's why, women's rights is such an important conversation to continue talking about and continue discussing, because we have the ability to be leaders in ways and think of things that everybody, I won't say everybody, but that people, or men, I don't want to keep saying men, but that men don't always seem to think or pay attention to. Most times there are certain corners, there are certain edges, there are certain crevices that you don't see that we see. And we can pull those out and make them important and make them, have life to it. So when you have those abilities, it allows you to be an amazing leader. It allows you to be an amazing team player. It allows you to be an amazing collaborator. And that's also why you see, even right now in this time, so many women like never before are able to come together and not make things about a competition, but be able to boost and support each other and help each other get to a different space. And not just coming together for as women. You see women in leadership who are able to help men in their many roles. You see them able to be inclusive and push inclusivity for anybody, for anything that anyone is trying to do, and come up with ideas and strategies to help those people. That's a strength that is naturally in us, that if you cultivate and that you grow and you nurture, you can utilize in leadership, you can utilize in business, you can utilize even in your home, you can utilize it in your family, you can utilize it literally in every area of your life, because you need collaboration, you need empathy, you need connectivity in not just business and not just work, but you also need it in just your life and relationships with people. Okay, number 6 is authenticity, self-acceptance, and self-worth. Women who exude self-worth, who exude understanding the value in themselves, live an honest, open, and free life. They are authentic to who they are because they have learned to come to a space of accepting who they are, regardless of what anyone feels and thinks about them. They stand in the truth of who they are as a woman, period. There is no question or doubt about it. And that is what allows you to feel the most worthy. When you can come to a space where you're like, okay, this is who I am. I love who I am. I understand who I am. I'm living true to who I am. I'm not living a facade of who I am through pain, through hurt, through wanting to be accepted, through wanting people to see me as greater, through wanting to be liked, wanted to be cared for, wanted to attract a certain kind of person or group. This is just me, who I am. I enjoy who I am. I love who I am. And I know the people that are meant for me will come to me. I know the things in life that are meant for me are going to come to me. And I'm also so confident that I'm willing to step out and find and attract and go and get the things that I desire. Whether it's going to come to me or not, I'm going to get it. And that's because they come to a space of accepting who they are, understanding who they are, loving who they are, and seeing the value in who they are. When you see the value in who you are, you understand the worth that you have. So that is a strength, because it not only is a benefit to you, but it boils over even into other people. You're able to inspire others. You're able to help others and push others to accept and love themselves, to stand in the truth of who they are. Just because you're standing in the truth of who you are. This also causes you to live in alignment. And living in alignment is just having values and beliefs that you stand in, that aligns with your true self, because you have come to the face of understanding and accepting yourself. So you live in alignment of who you truly are, and you honor that, and you revere that outside of what maybe societal norms or pressures may be, what is trending, what's most popular. It's like, no, this is who I am. This is me. It's just like right now, so many people, especially when it comes to love and relationships and connections and friendships, everything is about taking from somebody else. Everything is about what I can get. Everything is about, what are you going to do for me? How are you going to benefit me? And not to say that when it comes to your life and how you live, that you have to think about everybody else and please them, because that's not at all what I'm saying. But there's just this way right now where it's like, everything that benefits me is about me. It doesn't matter about creating true connections. It doesn't matter about creating true, I don't need anybody. I don't need this relationship. I don't need this person. If you do one thing outside of what I want, I'm done with you, because it's not what I want. Versus me personally, and I know there's a tribe of people, especially if you're watching this channel, I know you're like this, where you want true connection. You want true connection. You want true relationship. You want to be able to foster love and connections with people who you truly care for, and allow them to live in the truth of who they are and accept themselves while you do the same. You are open to wanting to be a support and love and care for others. It's not just all about you. It's about you. It's about connections. It's about relationships. It's about, things that's going to thrive and grow and build in life, period. Not selfishness, not about personal gain. You also want to provide and give to others. And Even like I was saying in relationship, kind of lose my, even in relationships, it's all about what is this person going to do for me in this relationship, not how we can grow together, not how we can benefit each other, not how we can be a support and love to one another, not how I can love you and treat you well and do right by you. It's all about what are you doing for me in this relationship. That's it. And if you're not doing for me, I'm just gonna go find the next. And that right there alone is different in today's society. It's different in today's world and the way things are going. Regardless of what is going on in the world, I'm standing true to who I am and true to the values that I carry, true to the values that I hold dear to me and that I think are honorable and most important. And when you can stand in the truth in that in yourself, whether you connect with this or you connect with something else, standing in the truth of that and owning that and really accepting this is who I am. You have done yourself and everything and everyone around you such a service, because they can see like, wow, this is truly who she is. This is truly who she is as a person. She's living authentic to herself. This inspires me to want to do the same. Whatever that means for me, I want to figure it out. That's a power, that impact and power. Everybody doesn't have that, but it is something that everybody can grow and cultivate and build within themselves. You just have to be the one to want to do the necessary work to get it done. This also promotes confidence. You're not trying to fit into a mold that doesn't represent who you are. You're not trying to fit into a space that doesn't stand for who you are. And also self-love and acceptance, self-love and respect. We all go through spaces and times where we recognize our flaws. We recognize areas where we can improve and be better. We recognize there are certain things that we don't have that are as strong as other areas. We recognize our weaknesses. And I won't say things that we don't like about ourselves, because when you have true confidence, you can recognize, I don't particularly like that, but it's not something I'm going to allow to weigh me down and make me look at myself as a problem, make me look at myself as someone who's not worthy. Regardless of this flaw or not, I'm worthy. But this is an area that I want to improve on. That's confidence, true confidence. Through all the points that we have went over so far, I truly want you all to understand that femininity is not about fitting into a social media stereotype. It's not fitting into a certain box, but it's about understanding the true power, depth, and uniqueness of being a woman, and the true strengths that you naturally carry that can impact you and also impact others, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally. All of these things help you align better with who you truly are and who you're going to become. And also, some of you may be looking at some of the points that we went over so far and thinking like, man, like, I don't have all of those ways, or, I see some of these in me, but some of these I don't really identify with. I haven't really experienced or strengthened within myself. And I want you to understand that's perfectly okay. Remember, we are on a journey. Remember, we are constantly growing and evolving and getting better. We're constantly learning more about ourselves, and we're learning how to become more of the woman that we truly want to be. So whether you see these ways in you or not, you have the ability to learn them, strengthen them, cultivate them, and make them a part of who you are. So in light of that, here are 6 ways you can strengthen femininity in yourself, where it can be an impact to you and to others, however it be. Number 1, this is always going to be my number 1. This is always one I'm going to highlight. Practice self-care regularly. So as I said before, this is subjective. This has to identify with what you enjoy the most, what makes you feel like you're caring for yourself. But these can be various things. I'll go over a few. So 1 is creating daily rituals, routines, creating daily habits that are going to help bring your life to a life of ease more and more and more, whether this be paying for or providing services for yourself, physical services like hair and nails, and some women get eyelashes so they can have their eyelashes and their brows done so they can have a clean look throughout the day. Every single day they can just get up, freshen it, and go. Having your nails and feet done, stuff like that, like paying for those kind of services. Also, getting services like maid services where your house can be clean and fresh every day, laundry services, like car washing, things like that. They're just going to make your life feel easier, more at ease. Even meal prep, like getting a chef, you can afford that, or you can find some affordable. I always say try to find affordable chefs or people who meal prep, and they can prep your food for you throughout the week, so you don't have to think about it. It just makes things easy. You can go pop it in the microwave and keep it rolling, so you don't have to think too deep. But if you like to cook, which I'm a person, I love to cook, you can create a schedule for yourself and create luxurious meals every single day that makes you feel like you have that time with yourself, and that you're also caring for yourself to provide good, nutritious meals for you every day. Some other things can be, like I said, like taking care of your body, also taking care of your mind, going to therapy, taking some workout classes, doing some meditating, some praying, some journaling, some reading, things like that. That's all about caring for yourself, getting a morning routine, a night routine, a shower routine. All these kind of things are things that make you feel cared for and loved and taken care of by yourself. Prioritize yourself, making sure that you're giving yourself the time and attention that you need, whatever that looks like. That could be, for instance, every night I set aside a certain amount of time where I do a few tasks. I always journal. I will always read something. I always plan out my schedule and what I want to do and implement for the next day. I'll write out some things. I start doing some research on something that I really want to know and learn more about, or I want to become more skilled in. I'll do a bit of research on that. Always take time for a nice, amazing shower with all my scents, all my scrubs, all my lotions and oils. And I always take time to take care of my skin. I always take time to wash my face and do my skincare routine. These are things that make me feel really good, really empowered, really loved. And I do notice when I slack on doing these things, I notice a shift and change in how I feel, how my days go, how my nights go. So these are things that I do to make myself feel taken care of, but I'm also giving myself time and attention that I need to recharge and replenish from the day. I also like time to recharge with myself. This is something I've learned. I didn't even know I was like this until a few years ago, but I always take time to recharge and replenish and refresh myself. This is something I find that I really, really need, and I'm at my best when I do that. That's the way I take care of myself. You have to find the things that make sense for you and make sure you are setting aside necessary time, whether that be for self-care practices or just to do nothing. Set aside time for you. Prioritize yourself. And that may mean you have to reject, going and doing certain things. It may mean, hey girl, I can't talk right now, or yeah, I'm not going to go out tonight. Like, that means that you have to do that put yourself first. Put yourself first. Another way to practice self-care is to rest. Take time for rest, and rest without feeling guilty of taking the time for yourself. I know a lot of women who feel like, if they are like, they're constantly in go mode, so the time they get some time to themselves, they utilize that time to get things done. And it's like, I understand, especially like for the moms out there who, you don't always seem to have a lot of time or enough hours in a day. You're kind of like, I really want to get some of this stuff done. It's okay to do that, but why don't you cut a portion of that time for you just to relax and chill out? If you got 30 extra minutes that specific day, maybe take 15, 20 minutes to run around and get a few tasks done. But those last 10 minutes, just take some time for you to rest and relax. Uninterrupted, just chill out and rest. Don't force yourself to utilize every bit of that time. If you have an hour, take maybe 30, 40 minutes to get some tasks done. Take the last 20, 30 minutes to rest and relax. If you have, whatever time you have, allot some of that time for you just to rest. And don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like you have to force yourself to just do and do and do and go and go and go. There's always something that needs to be done. There is always something in life that needs to be done, especially as an adult. That's something I learned. There is always something that needs to be done. You still have to make sure you prioritize yourself. Allow yourself that time, because you deserve that time, and not just deserve it, but you need that time. So give yourself that time to rest, relax, and replenish your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul. Number 2 of the ways that you can strengthen your femininity as a woman is to create boundaries, and create healthy boundaries, create beneficial boundaries, create essential and necessary boundaries. One of those ways to create boundaries is to get so familiar and so comfortable with saying no. Understand that there is a necessity, and sometimes just saying no. Like, and for some people might say, it's just a flat out no. For some, it's like, hey, it might be another way of saying it, but just be okay with not being available. Maybe that's another way of saying it. Just be okay with, I'm not available, or I don't have space for this right now. I'm not able to, show up for this. I'm not able to provide this at the moment. Whatever you got to say, however you got to get it out there, be okay and comfortable with sometimes taking a step back and just not being able to. And I don't want to say not being able to, but just not being in a space where you can provide something for someone because you need that time for yourself. Or it just may not be something that's beneficial for you. It may not be something that you need to engage in at that specific time or space in your life. And that's okay as well. You don't have to push an obligation on yourself because someone else wants or needs you to. You have to be okay with setting that boundary sometimes. Just being like, nah, I'm not able to. Say what you need. Say what you need. So I feel like a lot of times people who need this specific understanding are people who you show up and you give every bit of yourself everywhere you go, to every person. Anytime somebody calls, you answer it. Anytime somebody needs something, you are literally inconveniencing your life. And mentally, your mind doesn't tell you it's an inconvenience, but it's an inconvenience. But you're inconveniencing your life and your time to be able to show up for someone and give something to them or provide space for them or whatever. For instance, you may have some things like maybe you designated Thursday. Okay, Thursday when I get home from work, I get off early. I get off like an hour early. Like I have extra time to get that done, and then I'll have an extra hour to like relax or take that extra hour to sleep because it's been a busy week. But somebody is calling you like they just want to talk. Or somebody's like, hey, can you come, help me do da-da-da-da-da. You already had this plan set for something that you needed to do for yourself to prioritize your needs and to make sure that you were going to be replenished, you were able to recharge, you're able to pour into yourself. But because you feel an obligation to show up and help someone just because they asked, you disregard the things that you need to do and say, oh yeah, I'll come. And you do this once, then you continue to do it. You continue to do it to where now it's becoming, you don't realize it's an inconvenience, but it's becoming an inconvenience because you keep showing up and giving the time that you need to give to yourself to other people. You keep giving the things that you need to do for you and replacing it with doing it for others. Instead of sometimes being like, you know what, I honestly can't even come. Like I have this and that third to do. Like I'm swamped, I can't, I'm sorry. Or I'm not available. Because one thing about it, if somebody really needs something and they can't get it from you, they're going to find somebody else to do it. Or they're going to figure it out themselves. You don't have to make yourself feel as though your worth comes from showing up and providing for other people. You are worthy regardless of if you can do, give, or provide for anybody else. That doesn't make you any less than who you are. That doesn't make you less caring, less loving, less compassionate, less understanding, less empathetic. You are still all of those things. You are just not available right now. And you have to be okay with saying, hey, I'm not available right now. You have to be okay with saying, I need these specific things. And you also need to make sure that the same people that you're giving so much of your time, attention, energy, and help to can turn around and give the same to you. Because if you're not, you're pouring from one end and only one side, and your cup is never being filled. Somebody else's cup is always being filled, but yours is never being filled. So make sure you have that, which goes to my next point. Make sure you surround yourself with people who truly love and care for you, are a positive light and support to you in your life. Make sure that you have people that the same way you're so ready to go and ready to help and support and pour into them, they can give the same to you. It's not one-sided. It's not just all on you to give and to help and to show up, and no one is doing the same for you. Make sure it's like that on both ends. Because if not, you will always find yourself at a deficit. You will always find yourself going without. You will always find yourself feeling drained or just feeling like you are at your end. Whereas other people, they're doing well, they're good, and they're not even concerned or thinking about you. Make sure you have people around you who truly love and care for you and want what's best for you. And if you have to say, hey, no, or hey, I don't have space for this right now, they can understand and they're okay with it. Number 3 is being okay with embracing vulnerability. being okay with being vulnerable, understanding the power and the strength of being vulnerable and your vulnerability. And understand that also vulnerability does not equal weakness. I don't know where that idea even came from or stemmed from, but being vulnerable is not being weak at all. It may cause you to feel emotions or be emotional, but being able to stand and feel your emotions is a strength that a lot of people right now in the world do not acquire. They don't have. They don't have that strength. A lot of people are doing things to desensitize themselves. A lot of things, like people are doing things to pull themselves out of the reality of what is going on in the world and what's going on in their lives. A lot of people are finding vices and outlets that are helping them escape life and escape what they are going through, so that they are not accountable and that they don't have to be an active participant in their growth and what they need to change what's going on in their life. So the ability to stand in what you're feeling, the ability to face what you're going through, the ability to stand in your emotions and say, I feel this, I feel that, I don't like this, I like this, I love this, I hate this. The ability to do that and stand in that and sit in what you are feeling is one of the greatest strengths. And also be kind to yourself. You know, we all make mistakes. Some of us make mistakes daily, some of us every other day, but we all make mistakes. We all mess up. We all do things that, you know, we aren't the proudest of, things that, you know, we realize later, I could have done that differently. Sometimes we get a nasty tone and realize that we didn't have to say it that way. Sometimes we get, you know, an attitude. Sometimes we forget something. Sometimes we, you know, mess up on something and realize, man, I could have done that better. I should have did this better. I should have been more prepared. I should have, you know, did something different. Recognize the mistake, own it, take accountability for it, and work on it to be better. Number 4, celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate the good things. Celebrate the wins, the happy moments, the small accomplishments, the big accomplishments. Celebrate everything. Make sure you are praising yourself and celebrating yourself and, you know, clapping for yourself, especially if you don't have an army or group of people that are clapping for you. You know, celebrate the things you do. If you completed a task for the day that you set out to complete, give yourself a pat on the back. You know, I mean, that's a phrase that like I heard in school, but you know, be proud. Like, man, like I really did that. Like, I'm so proud of myself. Like, good job. You know, say something that's gonna uplift you. If you, like I said, you completed a task for the day. If you, you know, did something that, you know, maybe in the past you did wrong and this time you did it right, celebrate that. If you got an accomplishment, if you hit a milestone, it's your birthday, celebrate yourself and make sure that you are looking at the growth and the progress of where you're going, because sometimes we can be so focused on the journey and we can be so focused on getting to the destination that we're not looking at the moments along the journey that we are really like changing and shifting and growing, and we're transforming and we're becoming who we envision ourselves being. But you also have to look along the journey and be proud of what you're doing and achieving as you go. And also another way to celebrate yourself, reward yourself, have some kind of incentive for the things that you've done. So, you know, let's say you're like, you know, all week, that's some new habit I want to create. I want to make sure I do this every single day because I really want to start doing this more. I really want to strengthen this area. If I do this, I'm going to, you know, give myself this at the end of the week or at the end of the month. Or if I do this, I'm going to, you know, treat myself to this. Whatever that treat may be, it could be something big or small. Whatever that is, that's your choice. It needs to be something that you feel like it's a reward for you and something that you feel like you earned. So that means you have to do the work for it to earn it, but make sure it's something that actually brings you gratitude to say like, wow, like, you know, I did this and now I get to enjoy this because I accomplished this. And that's a way to be proud of and to celebrate yourself. Number 5, and this kind of goes with number 4, but this is about affirming yourself. Number 4 was about celebrating yourself, and affirming yourself to me is a way of celebrating yourself and the way of recognizing the strengths and the greatness and the beauty of you, and looking at the things that you are becoming or that you want to become and the ways that you already are that are great about you. And you can do this by literally affirming yourself by using I am statements, or using, like, wow, I'm such this kind of person, or I'm this, or I'm going to be this, or I'm going to have this. I am this. I recognize this about myself. Speak it over yourself. Continue to say it and remind yourself of that. You can also do this by just practicing speaking well over yourself. Don't always highlight the negative things, highlight the great things, highlight the positive things. Keep your mind positive. You can always affirm yourself of who you are and where you're going and what the goal is and what the focus is. And number 6 is connect to yourself. I would like to describe this as being emotionally aware. So some ways of this is checking in with yourself, looking at where you are, seeing how you feel, seeing what you're thinking, what's going on in your mind, what's going on in your body, what's going on, just within yourself. Where are you? And this is like kind of back to what I was saying, which I didn't realize this is what I was doing until just now. I just said it, but even last week, looking at the week that I had, I kind of had like a rough week, emotionally. And I was kind of like, okay, what can I do to have a completely different week next week? What can I do to completely change that? And I kind of had to check in and see where I was and see what I was feeling and what I was thinking, what was going on in my mind, what was going on in my heart, and assess where I was. I had to check in. And once I saw what it was that was going on, okay, what can I do to provide for myself in this way? I had to start to implement things that I needed to help me get back to a regulated and better space. And that's something that we should be doing regularly. That's something we need to do like daily, weekly, because sometimes we're going through motions of life and things are affecting us in a way that we don't realize. And you will look up and start to act ways and do things that don't really seem like you, and you're kind of like lost as to where it's even coming from. Constantly check in with yourself. Make sure you are good. You are taking care of you. You are responsible for your person. And so you have to make sure that you are good at all times. Another way of this is to be aware of triggers that you have, things that may set you back, things that may make you act out in ways that you don't want to be or you don't want to act. And what happened? And that's another question I'm going to have to start asking myself is, what happened this week that caused me to be in this space? What was going on that caused me to feel like this or think like this, or caused me to, kind of feel off? What are the triggers I'm having that I don't even realize are triggers? And what are triggers that I have that I know are triggers that I have ignored and have not, learned or put a system in place to help support me through it? That's something that you have to do with as well. So understand what your triggers are, and also be aware of the things that make you, not just things that make you upset, but things that make you feel bad, things that make you feel like you're not worth it, things that make you lose confidence, things that make your self-esteem lower, things that make you question or doubt yourself. Take note of those things, because when you face them, you want to be able to see what's coming at you so you can fight against it and say, no, I'm not going to let myself get in that space. I'm going to affirm myself. I'm going to do a self-care practice. I'm going to talk to a friend and allow them to pour into me. I'm going to use my systems to help me get out of this space, or to reject this thing that's affecting me. So look at your triggers, and then also practice being mindful, practice being present, practice being in the moment, doing what you're doing. So, if you are if you're watching a movie with your family, your husband, your boyfriend, or whatever, your friends, be present in that moment. Don't be all on your phone the whole time and scrolling or leaving out talking to some. Be where you are. If you're there, be there. If you're doing something, do that thing. If you're doing a solo date with yourself, be in that date. If you, for instance, I have painting supplies here. Sometimes I might want to do a painting night just with myself. I'm just painting. I might be watching my favorite show or something. That's some time I'm taking for myself. Don't then get on social media and just be scrolling or answering calls and people calling you to tell you and vent about stuff. You don't really have, do not disturb right now. I'm doing something that, I needs my attention. I'm doing something to fill my cup up. And that is something that you have to learn to be present in. That's something that you have to learn to be there, physically and mentally there. A lot of times people disassociate with where they are. They I think that's the right term I'm using, but they kind of get out of themselves and they're in another space. And you can do that and realize that you will do that through life. And you don't want to be like that. You want to be able to be present in where you are and fully enjoy the moment of what you are doing. You want to be able to be there. Everything else is, because what you're saying is, I'm here, but there are things way more important than what's going on here. I'm here, but this is more important than me. This is more important than you. This is more important than what's going on right now. And you don't want to tell your mind that. You don't want to tell people that with your actions. Be present. And also that helps you be more connected to yourself. So overall, embracing your femininity is a strength. And hopefully through this video, you have been able to see how it's a strength, how it benefits you, how it can impact you, how you can utilize it in areas of your life to grow and to build you and to make you stronger. I hope this was beneficial. I hope that I said something that made you start thinking and get those wheels turning. Hopefully there was something that was said that made you reflect on where you are in life and where you've been and what you've been doing, and think, you know what, there's some things that I need to work on. There's some things I need to improve in. There's some things I need to strengthen. And there are some things that I want to change just because I want to be a better version of me. I want to do more. I want to have more. I want to create more. Hopefully this also enlightened you of the beauty and the uniqueness and the strength of women and of a woman being her true feminine self. And not that this has to look a certain way. You don't have to wear pink glitter and hair bows, to be a woman that is truly in her feminine state. You have to be authentic to yourself. You have to be true to yourself. You have to love yourself, care for yourself, and do the things necessary to get to who you envision yourself being. And I hope that all of this information you're able to take and break down. You're also able to share with someone. If you like this video, don't forget to like it, to subscribe, and leave your favorite part. Leave your favorite note in the comments of what you connected with most, or the thing that you really want to work on the most within yourself. And also share with a friend, share with someone who is, in a space where they're, wanting to learn and grow and to work on themselves and to become better and to be even more connected with themselves and understand the purpose of who they are. If you know anyone who is in that space, send them this video, share with them, and have a bit of discussion about what you think. And also get back in the comments and share your thoughts with me. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know if this was beneficial, and I want to know if this is something that was able to help and support you. So as always, we're going to give a toast before we go. And I want us to raise our glasses and there's a cheers to the woman that we are becoming. May she be loved, may she be blessed, know her worth, and continue to glow. See you all later on the next video. Bye.